Hey everyone, Helen, your emotion code and body code certified practitioner coming to you from the Inside Out Institute. You'd think I'd get that right by now, but every single time. So good to have you along. I'm just going to have a quick chat with you all today just about trauma. I think it's such an important thing to look at and an awareness that we all need to have. So I'm just going to talk to you about some different parts of trauma and what it will mean to you, and maybe you can recognize yourself in some of these things and that you may not even be aware. So it's also called PTSD, which is a post-traumatic stress disorder. And whilst we don't claim to treat PTSD, I think it's really important to have an awareness of what trauma is and how it can affect somebody. That's really super important, especially as there have been so many troubling times around the world, even in the States with Black Lives Matter and everything that's ensued from that, and just the general unrest and everything that's been happening in 2020. So the word trauma comes from a couple of different meanings. So it's probably good to understand what the meaning should be. So you've probably heard of the head of trauma or trauma units in hospitals, but outside of the physical trauma, there is emotional trauma as well. And that may be caused by difficult or extremely stressful events and experiences. And when they happen to you, emotional healing can be really critical to help you move on. So, traumatic experiences will vary from person to person. There'll be no two people that present in the same way. And that's because we've all got different life experiences right from the outset, and we all have different perspectives and on how we interpret the same piece of information. Put everybody in a room, give them the same thing to look at, and you'll probably get as many different answers as there are people in the room. That's how our perception alters how we look at things. But some traumatic experiences will include things like the death of a family member or friend or even a pet, accidental injury or physical injury resulting from, say, a car accident or a fall, but anything that results in quite a major injury, divorce or a hurtful breakup, a sexual assault, serious illness, natural disasters, war, pandemics, abuse, moving to a new city even, domestic abuse, and being the victim of a crime. So any traumatic experience may cause emotional, spiritual, mental, or even physical harm to yourself. And after having such an experience, you can have things like you may feel anxious, afraid, or sad as a result. And you may also find yourself feeling numb or empty and you don't know why. Uh, Ideally, those feelings should fade over time as you deal with them and you get the support you need. But sometimes you may not even know how to respond to that experience, and those feelings may, get a grip on you and not let go. So you just are caught and held in that experience. So, how does emotional healing work after trauma? Well, if you experience a persistent or lasting effects such as the following, emotional healing can be critical for you. And it's possible that you may need help of a professional therapist or medication to help you recover as well. So, some of the things you may typically feel are dramatic mood swings, extreme irritability, nervousness or anxiousness, feelings of hopelessness, or just feeling really sad. You may have suicide ideation, which is thoughts of suicide, and you may have flashbacks to the events that either come up during your day, are triggered by certain things that may happen, or you dream them as well. May have difficulty concentrating and thinking. I mean, I certainly did after my daughter died. My head felt like it was in cotton wool, and it took so much effort just to do the most basic things and think about stuff. You may have insomnia or a desire to just sleep and keep on sleeping. You don't want to wake up. Your appetite can change. You may become more withdrawn or isolated. You just don't want to be around people or things that you usually enjoy. And you can get things like headaches, nausea, and other physical signs of stress, like, palpitations, which is a really rapid heartbeat. Yeah, you can feel yourself sweating or feeling like you're going to black out. And you can actually get an exacerbation of any medical conditions that you may already have. So in some cases, people develop post-traumatic stress disorder after trauma, but it can also be diagnosed by a professional. You may not even be aware that you've got it. The condition may affect how we respond to stress, and it also may bring about an intense emotional or physical responses whenever you think or experience or re-experience that traumatic event. So, what to do if you think that you may be developing PTSD? You first of all need to get some help from someone qualified to treat it. So, along with any required professional help, emotional healing tools such as those through energy healing may help you deal with the effects of those experiences. For example, the emotion code can help you release the negative emotional energy that you may have trapped at the time of the event. You haven't processed it properly, so it's all trapped inside of you. It can also release a heart wall, which people build around themselves to protect themselves, and that's particularly important when you've experienced traumatic events. And other practices like meditation, just being, or using mindfulness. Yeah, trying to find the word there. Using mindfulness can be helpful. And physical activity is always a goodie. If you can go for a walk, go for a bike ride, go for a run, go out and socialize, playing a sport, that's always going to help you improve how you feel and your outlook. And because, negativity, being trapped within that negative cycle, can really intensify things and really hinder your recovery process. So, absolutely none of us are immune from experiencing trauma. So even if we're emotionally healthy to begin with, oh man, I'm tripping over my tongue today. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out or, let somebody know that you think you may have PTSD or you think you're having trouble processing events or you just feel not your normal self. You may not even be recognizing the event that's triggered it. But if you're not feeling yourself, that's a sure sign that you should just be seeking help in some form, just to help you recover from it so it doesn't carry on and really affect your life. So you always try to find practices and things like energy healing that can really help you boost your sense of well-being and leave you better equipped to recover when bad things happen. So that's all I wanted to share with you about trauma and PTSD today. I hope some of this information has been helpful to you so that you can recognize the signs and know that if you're experiencing any of those signs, that you should just reach out and, get some help of some sort. So take care of yourself. And until I touch base with you next time, wishing you, a really great day, great week, great month, depending on when we touch base again. That, when you start sentences and you should never start them, well, that's what I just did. But hey, wishing you all the best, guys. Take care.